Welcome y'all to the Reality or Not podcast with your boy DJ Reality and your boy Brian from Nothing New Under the Sun. What's good with you, Brian? How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed and impressed with the life God gave me. What about yourself, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, you know what I'm saying? Just living and giving. Last name Macmillan, chilling like a villain. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, man, everything is good, man. There's always things to complain about, but is it really worth it? You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, what's going on? What's some good? What's something that you want to talk about today? I know we got a list of topics, but what's some stuff that's on your mind?
Man, my mind been flooded with all type of stuff lately because, like, I actually got a chance to watch a short of your podcast with Latoya and my man, and y'all was talking about Stephen A. And I was like, I think y'all kind of shorted Stephen A. little bit, but I understand why, because it's one of them.
No, go into it. Because it's weird. Because I can see things from both sides. Because so, and this could be a deeper conversation, but sometimes and I don't want to alienate anyone, but sometimes I feel that if you talk about automatically when you talk about women or Black women in general, we go to the defense, and that's fine. I really do think that Jasmine Crockett was saying what made sense, so I wouldn't I'm not going to say anything that like disparaging anything that she was saying, but sometimes we automatically go to the protective mode, and I feel like we should do that from times, but other times it's almost, it's like, say for instance, accusations of rape or anything like that. Like it's never it's not an innocent into proven guilty in that mentality. It's always guilty into proven innocent. So if a woman, even if it's false accusations, and sometimes it's transparent, other times it's not, it's like it's automatically assumed that the man did it or blah 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 blah. And then even the double standard, and like I said, I may be delving off into a deeper topic, but on the flip side of that, if a man says, "Hey, I was raped, blah blah blah, she put this in my drink," you're like, "Well, shoot, you was a man. Why did you like? How did that happen to you?" So.
It's a double side. That, like you said, got a little bit deeper because you're talking about society and how they look at weak men versus women being not weak but also protected, right? I'm just in the Stephen A. thing, because Stephen A. then said a few things that kind of he kind of rubbed you right with the wrong way, but he just expressing he just expressing his view of it, and I think that's where we getting the part shook at it. He wasn't ridiculing Jasmine as a person. He was ridiculing what he thought was her delivery of doing her job. His thing was, hey, how can you be doing your job if all you are is opposition, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes, like other people have said, that her job was to be the opposition. Her people elected her because of who she is and because of the way that she is and because of how eloquently she's able to shut some stuff down. They elected her to be the opposition, right? And I don't think there's a problem with that. I think and like he apologized to her if she felt like he was coming at her, but I think he was really, and this is where people have to get away from these headlines, because I think we get manipulated by these headlines and read the story and you be like, oh, that's a very little part of what, it's clickbait. It's a very little part of what he said. What he said was, hey, I don't know how she is getting anything done using the way that you talking the way that she's the way in her job.
Yeah.
Based on his opinion, right? And people have their opinion on what Stephen A. gets done at his job. The dude get paid to talk about people. Yeah. I can never do that I can never do that. Like, I think that's what's wrong with the NBA at times, because you got all this drama stuff. They building up drama or whatever. And I heard such and such would like a trade. He ain't happy. Shut up.
Look, Brian. If I don't fuck with you, and I hate people that do this. And don't get me wrong, I just want to talk about you. But I'm just saying, if I don't fuck with you, but you're the subject or you're the headline of the conversation, then it's almost like that New York shit, right? Like they'll say like rappers or whoever from New York, they'd be like, he's like, yeah, that I don't fuck with them, but shouts out to him. You know, like, wait a minute, hold on. You just said fuck this nigga like in so many ways over here. But now it's like shout out, like it's almost like well, you know, I ain't gonna even mention his name, but shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? The best to him. I'm like, bro, like what, like that's condescending, and I get it, but at the same time, it's like, well, say for instance with Stephen A with LeBron, it's like he might not fuck with him. So of course, every opportunity, he's gonna take the chance to throw a little barb at him. And Stephen, and this is the dope part about Stephen A, honestly. Stephen A can say things like, I'll see him on like Gil's Arena, or he was just on Melo's show the other day. That's where a lot of this stuff came up. But it's like he says things in a way that I'm like, okay. I mean, I get what you're saying, but then, you know, he'll go on the show and, you know, and he'll do his own platform, and it may not translate the way that I would like to hear it. But like he can say things in a certain way to be able to capture your attention. Like he'll say, well, you know, I don't fuck with LeBron, but you know, I like shouts to him for being able to do everything he's done in the community, his longevity within the game and stuff like that. Like he acknowledges that part, but then he'll get stuck on something like, you know, well, did you see how the cameras were set up, you know, with me at the Lakers game? Like, you know, why didn't they have like this angle? All you see is the back of my bald head type of shit. And it's like, bro, like
that was fan video.
Yeah.
that was somebody from the fans recording recording the game. Somebody probably in a higher seat, and they lucky that they got even that interaction.
Yeah.
But again, when you in that business and you like, and I know is sometimes it's better to be infamous than famous, and sometimes it's better to be both, right? So I look at Stephen A as a polished Kim K, right? Didn't have to do a sex tape, but he made it up using his words and provoking people. It's provocative. You know what I'm saying? And provoking. And like you said, he went on Melo's show. Dog, you know that's his homeboy. And like, it was like people like, yo, you think Melo should have? No, dog. Melo, if
bro, man, fight their own fights, man. It's like,
no, John, because like if you with me, right? And let's say we got an op, right? And let's say she called me and was talking like, oh yeah, let me get on there, and I'm gonna be like, look, I'm gonna hold you accountable to what you said with Shantae, because guess what? You said it. That's my homeboy. That's my cousin, and we like. This is how real men iron it out. Like, I'm gonna hold you accountable to what you said. Now, like Carmelo, like Stephen A basically said, I don't really mess with LeBron, and LeBron was pretty much messing with his money, right? Because it was a contract negotiation. And like Stephen A, you have a purpose and you have a place in this media thing because of what you built. And hands down, you did it the right way. LeBron doing it the right way. I just don't understand why we trying to tear each other down in that process. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'll say this. I'll say with the Melo thing, the way it was clipped up, it wasn't that good, because what Melo ended up saying, like, hey, look, I want to try to work this situation out between both of y'all. Yeah, so it was the way they clipped it up, it was just kind of like they had, and like I said, I mean, sound bites are sound bites, but the way that they clipped it up was that, you know, Melo just letting him rant on his boy type of stuff. And I was like, well, you got to be cautious of that stuff too, because like I said, I mean, the headline rings louder than the actual, you know, full story that was out there. So
it's provocative.
No, look, and look, I like
get the juices going.
Listen, I can't. The one thing I don't have any problem. I listen to Stephen A, but I don't listen. I listen to, and this is a bad part on mine, but I listen to Stephen A for clips. I can't listen to him. I can't watch his show because I mean, for one, it's during the day, but on top of that, it's the same topic that just gets regurgitated like every half an hour or hour. And I'm like, well, I mean, I done already heard what he had to say about it, so I can watch maybe the first hour of it, the first half an hour, but then the same topics are going to be the same topics, like 30 minutes, or it's almost like a live news thing that they're talking about yesterday's topics. And I'm like, well, they're just talking about the same thing over and over and over. It's like, well, LeBron is hurt, or Luka's out 2 weeks, or it's like, well, you know, what is the Lakers going to do, or what is who's gonna, win it. Like it's literally the same. Like they don't really like some of the NFL they focus on, but they don't really talk about anything else except the hot topic and they keep repeating the same hot topic over and over and over.
Yeah, but man, that's because they do it on every show, right? They do it on Greenlee's show. They do it on his show.
His show is like 3 hours though.
See, I like First Take because they bring on people like at first I used to the dude that went to Duke.
Jay Williams.
Yeah, Jay Will. Right. I didn't like him, but I think Stephen A made him more likable because he tries to hold Stephen A accountable to what he says, right? And then like Monica McNutt and like the one lady that's there that does the NFL stuff. I like how like give them shine, and that's the one thing that I can give Stephen A. Like give him shine, and then he always tries to point out that devil's advocate thing, like Lamar Jackson. Is he really MVP? Was he really MVP all that time? Yes, he was, because he got it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're gonna talk about it. And I like the fact that he wants players to get their money, but he's annoying. And I can say annoying, because like
that was a dynamic between him and Skip that made it like perfect for television. Like they're both annoying. It's like they literally go back and forth, and this one was slightly as annoying as the other one. And Skip started to just get annoying in the point of, I'm like, bro, like, okay, you don't like LeBron, we get it.
He got to be grumpy old man annoying. That's where he's and getting older, I started saying, man, what the hell? Because you think about these conversations, what do they mean? Jordan better than LeBron? What do it matter? You know what I'm saying? We'll never see him play at that peak. Yeah, we'll never see. And then they getting money off of it. Like they getting millions of dollars off of talking about it. But at the end of the day, when you got all these people talking about it, for what? That's like the best rapper.
That keeps you in rotation though.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Like you said, it's the same conversation over and over. Yeah, it's gossip over and over.
What's the hot topic? Let's keep talking about it, and people are going to keep watching because. I hate the fact that Shannon, I thought Shannon was a great addition to the show, and I was hoping he would eventually get it. He's screwed up with the OnlyFans chick, but, Shannon and Skip were pretty good. They, with the exception of, put your glasses back on, but other than
that. What you gonna do, nigga? You gonna jump over?
He's like, put your glasses back on. He's like, and it's like, okay, we're there. He could have. I don't know. It kind of not. It wasn't racist, but it was kind of like, bro,
like he was a boss. That's what I got. That's what came across. It's like, yo, you work for me, dog. Like, and then like Shannon, even his hiatus from the show, I probably like. I like Shannon. Shannon, he puts on the suits, get the muscles out, and like he really goes for what he believes in. But like I think like his feelings got hurt. And like, I don't know if he was milking it for the whatchamacallit, but then, like, is he the ultimate bag dropper?
You said the bag what?
Bag dropper? Like he dropped the bag. Like he dropped the bag.
Yeah. He up there. And the only reason I say that is because, he had to pay the chick out. He didn't have to. He just paid her out just so
it could go away, right?
Yeah, so it could go away. But can you imagine? It's like they say he was in the middle, and like I said, I say allegedly, but he was in the middle of negotiating a $90 to $100 million bag, and he had ESPN behind him. He had all it. It's just.
But ain't that what got it started? Didn't she see that and was like, "Yo"? 10%.
I think she was just out for 10%.
10% cut. So either way it went, he was the ultimate sucker, right?
Because I wouldn't. At that point in time, he could have just kept fighting it. After he lost the ESPN thing, and on the go, because he's. I will say this: he's interviewing a different crop of individuals before and after. I don't know if you had a chance to watch any of his stuff, but it's just like it's totally. Don't get me wrong. I like the people that he interviewing, but it was like. Wait a minute, now you got, Tony Yall on here. And, it felt like it's like he's kind of going for the urban crowd. If that makes, I'm like, wait a minute, wait, you're interviewing G Herbo? It's like wait a minute, we're nobody, no, I didn't expect this. Like where is this coming from? But anyway, it just feels like the climate, not the climate, but things have changed. I guess the climate, but the things have changed around him where it's like, okay, now I gotta, I don't know, get this audience back or figure out a way, because I still, like I said, I still watch it. I don't watch it as like I used to tune in as soon as it was live. You know, I remember watching the Barkley one like live as it was going, and you know, I like Barkley, and Barkley is going to speak his mind. Anyway, I just thought it was like, I feel like the crop of talent that he's interviewing has shifted since
so let's go to the topic that we went to actually last week. Is that cockiness or is that confidence that all this stuff happened to old Uncle Shannon Sharp, especially when he had them OGs telling him directly, "Hey, you need to lead these."
So here's my thing with this, right? One thing I hate is people telling you what you should be doing personally, and I just feel like we live in a society that things are like, you have a louder voice, which is fine. Honestly, I used to like it when we didn't have a louder voice, but it's a gift. It's a gift and a curse. Like, we have a louder voice now. We can we can just say, you know what, we want to record a podcast today. We can go and put it out there, blah, 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 and go with it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, everyone has an opinion, and opinions are, I feel like sometimes people take opinions as fact. And when you say, I can't remember, I think she was 19 or 20, and he was, I think 55 at the time or whatever age. He was in his 50s. She's damn near crossing 20. And it's like, well, shit, if he can get that, and if that's what he wants, that's fine. When you start to get to that pedophile space, it's like, all right, bro, like, you need to chill the fuck out. But when you're that rich, or when you have that much fame, it's like, well, you should date around his age. I'm like, yo, like, so it's funny. Deion Cole, I don't know if you had a chance to watch this special, but Deion, well, he has several of them, but he has a special. He was talking about like age and stuff like that, and being across the, starting getting older. And he was saying how he was like, yeah, man, Angela Bassett, she bad, you know what I'm saying? You could tell she bad, but then you see her friends around her, and you're like, okay, you could tell Angela Bassett's age, you know what I'm saying? Because she's talking about, like, the friends were like, because Angela Bassett is bad, like, she's bad, stuff, and she in her 60s, like, she is a beautiful woman, you know what I'm saying? But he was talking about, like, all of the women around her, around the same age, but they ain't Angela Bassett bad, you know what I'm saying? So you tell him, like, oh, you should mess around with somebody your age. Like, well, maybe the ones around his age aren't appealing to him. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. Like, everybody has a preference on who you want to be with.
Yeah,
now,
maybe they ain't hitting the gym like he hit in the gym, because I think he met her in the gym too, right? So, like,
so it's kind of like, understand that. Like, are you as appealing, or like, you want somebody, like you said, you found her in the gym, like, is the woman that's older as appealing? Like, he has kids, he's not looking for marriage and stuff like that, so he's just doing his thing out here,
didn't nobody say that to the Playboy dude either, right?
But
I think this is a problem, though, Sean. I think the problem is that they was trying to say the caliber woman he was messing with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
who's the judge?
So you know how, especially women, when they know these women be in these pockets, right? They know these people. Like, man, Sean, I don't know. Like, I ain't been in the dating game for a really long time. So, like, but I didn't see some, like, just give you a story, right? So my daughter's boyfriend, his sister was marking up dudes. When I say marking them, I said she would go back. She was staying in Texas, would go back to Mississippi, sleep with the dude, go back to Texas, and like, to pay her rent. You know what I'm saying? She was like, hey, we might have a baby on the way. What you want to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she had 2 marks. And I was like, yo, word? He was like, man, it's my sister, dog. I'm telling you. I was like, dog, that's wild.
Yeah.
But I know some people in them situations too, where they just kind of milk the dude. Like I got sisters and people in my life, family that you be like, yo, he just getting milked. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
and like there's some people that know the setup. You know what I'm saying? Like,
listen, I remember one time I was planning to go on like a first date with this woman, and she was like, well, yeah, and we back and forth, we texting and stuff, and she was like, well, she said, I really, this is a while back. She said, I really appreciate flowers in a roll up with sativa, for us to meet in person. And I was like, do you appreciate or are you demanding? Like I was like, because that's not the type of dating that I want to do, especially on a first date. How do you even are we gonna smoke at the restaurant or like what is it? Like, is this just a gift to you? And it's like, well, and then it's funny too. I was like, well, okay. I was like, I'm trying not to be a dick about it. And no, and this ain't even me being a dick. I was like, well, what I'll do, I was like, I'll get these things, surprise her. And then she had, what'd she say? She said, because I didn't respond to the text. She doubled down and was like, did you see what I said about the things that I would like to have?
Wait. For one, it's like 3 red flags on this, right? For one, the first red flag is she got a rider for her first date.
Nigga, like
a writer, like if anybody been in the business, you write in your contracts, you kind of like
the stuff that you want to have in order to be able to show up and
to feel appreciated, right? That's what you do. You write down, hey, they like fruit baskets and Hershey Kisses. You know what I'm saying? Like she has a writer. Was this like?
It's always a way to say things. It's always to say, hey, these are the things I like. And then if I provide those things, that's fine. If not, then, I mean, like I said, it's different. I always say it's different between standards and expectations. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you got to be cautious of both, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if your standard is to have these things, but yet someone doesn't meet those standards, like you can get by with those, but with expectations, it's like, if you don't do this, then it's a wrap. It's like, bro, like I don't even know how to buy drugs. So you're gonna tell me, I'm still like, so I'm supposed to go and be like, hey, you can I buy some drugs, please? It's like I don't. But it's just funny, like.
Are you supposed to roll it for her, or do they come rolled, or like what?
Look, I didn't understand the whole. And I'm so analytical that I'm like, wait a minute, like, did she really like? That's what I'm like. Are we gonna smoke this together? Is this a gift? Is this a? And I'm like, well, and I straight up, I was like, yo, this ain't the type of dating that I want to do. Like, this is crazy to me. And I'm trying to think. She had said, she's like, well, we have different ways of thinking about dating, but so something like be blessed or something like that. And then me being who I am, because she started out with appreciate. It was like I quote unquote appreciate your honesty or something like that. It's like, bro, like, what the fuck, man? Like, that shit blew my mind. I was like, yo, we can appreciate, like, I would appreciate head, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna be like, well, I appreciate head on a first date. I appreciate head whenever like I take somebody out and stuff like that. Like, no, that sounds ridiculous to me. But it was just interesting. I'm like really? Those are the things. And mind you, I'm like, damn, this isn't even like, like if it's my girl or something like that, and you say, hey, you know, had the weed, had the liquor, had all this stuff, you know, ready when I get to your house or something like that. I was like, okay, cool, you know, like we kicking it, you know what I'm saying? But on a first, like, I don't know you type of person, it's like sounds very
Man, we getting to know each other, and you want me to bring these gifts to you? You want me to bring these? That like, what tomorrow date look like? Yeah, that's wild. And she texted to you and didn't even like. I think if you say it in a way, it could not feel like so transactional. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, it sounded very terrible from what I remember. Like it just didn't sound, because you know I had to think about. I was like, okay, I was like, well, I wouldn't mind dating her, but I wasn't thinking of it as. But I'm thinking of it at the same time. I was like, well, if we go, I don't know, smoke together or something. And I'm not even like a smoker like that, but I'm like, well, shoot, are you just go take the pre-roll and go about your business? like I said, we can't smoke it at the restaurant or wherever we're going. So is this just kind of a gift? You know, like you said, it's a writer type of deal, like with a concert or an artist and stuff. But it was just funny to me. I'm like, nah, this ain't it. And I appreciate it.
Hey man, so with that being said, I know you talked about your dating apps and stuff like that. Do you ever think you would deploy an AI agent to kind of thin the herd down a little bit, or like you ever think, you know, I'm using AI every day now, so like I'm just wondering if you would ever think about applying AI, you know, give you some definite traits and stuff and be like, hey, these 8 pictures is a women that I would definitely like to go find me some types like this, you know?
I'll say this. I have to, like, I don't have exposure to dating apps like that, but I think that if that was I guess if it was more of a, if I had more, because I'm trying to think, you got, what was the one back in the day? You got Match, you got Christians Only, you got, what's the one? Starts with a G.
Grinder,
but I can't remember.
Bumblebee was
yeah. So you got all of these dating, like it's interesting to like AI is very important. I would feel like you would have to incorporate that to say, hey, look, you know, but it could be very I want to say egotistical, but it could be very hey, look, as an example, hey, look, I'm looking for someone that's 5'7", 160 pounds, goes to the gym, doesn't smoke, no kids or anything like that. Like,
no pet pictures.
Of course, let's say, of course, within a dating app, like you can put I guess you could put like criteria, but at the same time, I would think of it as, you know, like, I don't know, a dating assistant or something like that. Hey, these are the things I want, and I want to make sure that. But you have to be able to get more intuitive to say, but doesn't seem to have an attitude within their profile or something like that, and the AI be able to generate something like that. But like I said, it could be extremely biased, you know, based off, because AI is interesting, man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
I took an AI class maybe about a month ago. And it's just like when you understand how it's broken down, because it's literally putting the words that you're saying, and it's trying to make it's trying to derive an understanding of what you're actually looking for. So it's dope in the sense that it could be dangerous, but it's dope as well that if you can utilize it for something like say for instance, a dating app, I feel like people can find who they want through those types of AI structures. But then again, you know, it could be, I don't know, say dangerous, but I think it could be dangerous in impacting the way that you think. I don't think it's dangerous in what it's actually producing, but what it's producing.
That's dangerous too, because like it can produce something. Maybe it's an AI chick that you're gonna end up finding. You know what I'm saying? Because like I've seen these people, the scams is getting crazy because of AI. Because like AI can give you context of what. So the new Rezo.com stuff that I'm working on, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a complaint website where you can complain about everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm using it to basically gauge the text and try to put them in two different categories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, is this a category? Is this? Are they mad about the service? Are they
Mm-hmm.
mad what are they mad about the service? Are they mad about the food? Are they mad about the time it's taking? Like I got like 8 categories that I'm trying to put a complaint in. And you can complain about several things in one passage, and you'd be like, oh shoot, what is this? Is this a complaint, a compliment, or whatever? And putting it through the AI, basically, because like I'm not gonna read all these complaints. People love to complain, but putting it through there and then being like, hey, what would you categorize this as? It's really dope as far as being able to synopsize what body of content is. So like going back to the dating thing, right? And I'm gonna give a shout out to our cousin DeMarcus because he had a really great idea about a dating app that we had started kind of putting together. But you got to follow through with what you say, to make it. But if you just say, hey, look, I'm gonna do me an AI agent that looks through it and say, hey, let me find all the ladies that have a have a description of being upset about something about their last, like
Yeah.
which ladies are being bitter.
Yeah.
And then,
Let's
like,
get away from that. Like, can you please not include bitter women or something like that? Or
a woman that description would be, I could define as bitter. If she's talking about her ex, is she newly single or whatever?
or you need a pre-roll up in a in flower, not flower, but you need a pre-roll up before you start a date. It's
yeah.
like exclude them.
Yeah. But man, the other part of that, like we were talking earlier, the other part of AI, like what I do notice now more, and then, like even at the conference that I was at Saturday, I was at the Dev Fest in Orlando on Saturday. The employers trying to hire people, AI is really doing the just work, and they're really not getting a lot of resumes.
Yeah.
And I can understand it because like now you have the ability to flood. If you do one job posting, like you can get like like he said, I'm getting, where I used to get like maybe $100, 100 of them every two weeks. He's like, I can get 100 in the first hour. I'm like, shoot.
Yeah. Happens all the time. Look at LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is you look at LinkedIn as an example from the what's it called it, the end reply, the in apply versus having to go to the actual website. And the in apply lets you do a 3-click, boom, you submit it. But then the actually going to the resume or to the website, in my opinion, I would think the traffic is less, like, oh well, just apply rather than apply within LinkedIn. Would probably have the numbers go further down. But the one problem I have with AI, in my opinion, is a lot of people aren't using it or are afraid to use it. I don't know if they think it's the devil or what, but you gotta the thing about technology is, right, you got to use it in a way that makes sense for you and that it can't hurt you. So as an example, you say a resume. It's like, hey, I don't like, no one should not have a resume. Or that's like a triple negative. Everyone should have a resume available to them, just because you can literally go in AI and, or like, one of the AI services, you can go into there, even if you don't want to type it, you can voice it and say, hey, I work for this company. This is what I did. Make it look good. Make it cater to this particular opportunity that I'm looking at applying for, and make sure that everything that being mentioned within that job, I have within my resume under, I don't know, 3 or 4 work opportunity or work history. And it's like it'll put it out there for you. And it's just weird when, you know, I hear about, you know, people, like I said, the finding a job is always a difficult thing, but applying for the job is the easiest thing in the world now. Like,
but it's a double-edged sword too, right? Sean, because I feel like it's AI eating AI. You using AI to cheat AI, right? I see so many people doing this now. You use, and it's even on my.
I think it's literally using the tools that's available to you.
But here's the thing: some people paying for this, right? Some people paying for it, and then other people like so. I know some people paying the Chat GPT $20 a month thing, right? Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's cool. But some people are paying. Well, you paying. The industry is paying this AI to digest all the resumes and stuff that they getting to thin out the herd, right? Mm-hmm. And like to say like this AI is really consuming AI because like some of the times when you're talking to it, like you not like. It's some people that's just saying, create me a technical resume with such and such and such and such that. They don't necessarily have these. It made it for
it. Ain't cheap. So I'll say this. That's when that's where the interviews matter. You know, because I feel like it all ends up coming out. You know, I mean, of course, it can be wasting someone's time, you know, but when you get interviewed and you're being asked, hey, did you do this? How did you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Then we had mentioned this before, the faking it till you make it. Like, if you can't fake it enough, or because the thing is, like, say, for instance, with me, it works in my favor because I can be like, well, you know, I've done this, but put my resume in here and say it better than I would say it, rather than beating yourself in the head and like, okay, I don't even know how to create a resume. It's like, it's giving you the opportunity. So what I'm saying is leveraging it for not the experience that you have. I'm just saying within the resume or within the job market, but just understanding how to use it and when to use it. A lot of people are like my mom, like something as simple as Siri. Like she was like, well, you know, can you send me the directions? I was like, just ask Siri, like how to get from here to here, and she'll tell you. You know, you know. So I'm saying leveraging it in the right time, not, you know, falsifying.
I mean, so you have so many people that don't know exactly what. So they look at a job, and like I'm gonna tell you, some of these job descriptions are unicorn stuff because, like, when I look at it, like a project owner, right? Like a project owner. Mm-hmm. They want you to be the project owner. They want you to be the scrum master. They want you to be the tester. They want you to be
delivery manager. All that stuff.
Yeah. And that's just not something. If your project is big, that's just not something that you always like. It's not a lot of people that touch all those things, right? Mm-hmm. Project owner. A lot of times they didn't have to be technical. They had to just know how their product went and how they wanted to move the product forward, right? Mm-hmm. You had a BA or you had a Scrum person that was more technical, or even a developer lead that end up doing more jobs. Breaking it down into more technical terms, doing it. But
I've worn every hat at every single job I've been at. I've never worked with a Scrum Master. I've never worked with someone. The only ones I have, you know, I worked with QA or quality assurance.
Did you have a PM too?
Did
you have PM?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's why I try to get, like, whenever I'm I want to go too much into the details and derail the conversation, but I will say that I had, like, because people get these roles mixed up, is that, and that's why most of the time I try to mention both roles, even though I've like my title was this or my title was this, only because, you know, you can get ruled out if, say, for instance, I say I'm a product owner, which means that I own a product, start the product from start to finish, or from beginning to end, from creation to obsolescence,
or handoff to growth, right?
Yeah. But then you got the product manager who sees the vision, talks to the not stakeholders, because product owners talk to stakeholders too, but is reporting this directly to what we're doing within the organization, how you can have return on investment and things of that nature. Like,
well, see, that's
every role I've
owner,
had
right?
is all of it. It's never been. And I'm the scrum master. I'm setting up the sprints, and I'm setting up all of these things. I'm managing Jira or any project management tool, or ADO or whatever, or Azure DevOps. But it's just interesting that, like, I have to, like, within my resume, I have to split it up to say, okay, I was project manager over here. I was product owner over here. I was project manager over here. I was product owner. Like I literally have to make sure that it's so diverse that it covers all of the roles, because they'll say, well, you don't have anything as a product owner. I was like, well, no, I was the product owner as I was a product manager, or I was the project manager as my title says, I was a project owner. So
yeah, ideally we would have these other different, like, so when I say lead developer, a lot of people was like, yo, like, but I was also the project manager, because I'm the one who had, I say project manager BA, because I had to not only talk to the business, but I also had to make sure that we was on task and write and have the reports so they could see what was done and how to, like, that whole aspect of the game, kind of get kind of crazy. But yeah, and so we say that to bring it back to the AI, right? Mm-hmm. So when you are when it's AI heavily fluffed, are you looking for these keywords to get through the down process, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what. And I will tell you, like, when we talk about self-doubt, I think that's what been the biggest thing. Cause, like, usually it hasn't, like, with me in job searching, I haven't had to contend with, 3,000 people applying for the same job.
Yeah.
And they have to whittle down all of these different, whatchamacallits. It's been something that's been niche with me that's been, like, already put me into the interview. I am 49 years old, and I feel like I don't have a lot of time left. So when people interview me for, take an hour of my day for an interview for nothing, like, I don't really even want to be interviewed unless I'm like, we talked about
3.5 hour interview last week, nigga.
Yeah, like, and I don't,
and I'm like, 3.5 hours. Like, what the hell are we going to talk about for 3.5 hours? I was literally scheduled with the same person. I was scheduled with the same person that I interviewed with the second interview, and I'm like, why am I interviewing with this guy an hour again? Like, I literally just talked to him an hour 2 weeks ago, like about the same stuff and blah blah blah. But like I said, I mean, but then I had to talk to somebody for a half hour. Then I talked to 2 other people for another hour. Then I had to talk to 2 other people for. I'm like, why are we spending all this time? Like, put us all in the same space, do a panel interview. We talk for an hour. And go from there. And
yeah, like, because that's 3.5 hours you're not gonna get back. You could have been doing some different. You could have been doing some different resumes, job postings and stuff like that. Yeah. And that ain't even including your travel time, right? Yeah. And so, like, to me, and I ain't saying that I should.
But I did it, you know what I'm saying? But that's the difference. Like, people have to literally, like, of course, it would be more convenient for them to do it, but that's their process, and that's what I'm saying. Like, with ChatGPT. Or ChatGPT, just any of the AI agents in general, is like, if you want to, I want to say circumvent the process, but I remember for me, I had my resume professionally written over maybe like 2014, 2013, somewhere around there. But I understood, like, I wrote people resumes in college, so I understood it, but I was like, well, shoot, I'm not getting any hits. So I had somebody structure it and do it, but then I was like, okay, now they structured and do it. Now all I got to do is edit, blah, 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 blah. So that's what I'm saying with ChatGPT. You don't have to have a professional writer to do it for you anymore, or just with AIs in general. You don't have to have anyone do it anymore. You can say, hey, structure this. Hell, most of the time, honestly, I look at other people's LinkedIn profiles. I'm like, okay, I've done those things. Let me copy this over. Okay, I've done this, blah, 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 blah. And then I still edit mine, but I'll say, ChatGPT, put this in. I don't know if this is still a thing, but like ATS or ATA form or something like that, just to make sure that it gets read. And it does it for you. Like, why am I sitting up here paying somebody I remember one time somebody jumped on my LinkedIn and they were like, I can rewrite your resume for you, da da da. And I'm like, no, I'm cool. And then they jumped in like a recruiter. And I was like, so they was like, well, yeah,
that's a game, right?
So they were like, they got me, but because I felt bad, I was like, all right, man. But and it was only like $20, but they jumped in and they were like, you got some good things on there. Can you send a copy of your resume? And I sent it, and they're like, okay, cool. Do you need anyone to rewrite it? I was like, nah, I'm okay. I'm good. And then they rewrote it, and it's like, what are your thoughts on this? And I'm like, I mean, it looks good, but at that point in time, I was like, all right, man, y'all done damn raped my resume and it made me do something that I didn't want to do in the capacity. So I was like, all right, I was like, yeah, but I don't want to pay for it. And it's like, well, we only charge you $20. I was like, all right, man, I'll give you $20. Like, was it really like, is that the way you have to do it to be able to?
So. And I mean, and for that $20, how much time did they spend? And that's the part that I'm fighting in my head. On my LinkedIn, I talk about the companies that I started and that I'm working with right now. And so I get a lot of pushback on that. It's like, hey, are you still? I said, yes, that is my side hustle. That is something I cannot depend on a job to take me over to my retirement. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is what I do. These are what and I have these that I can show people what I did. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even just doing the reunion, dude, we got a 501c3, a federal 501c3 non-for-profit company. I started that. I did that whole process. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is value in that. Because there's a lot of people that want to do it and ain't never touched it, don't know how it works, ain't never filed a 990. You know what I'm saying? And like, even though mine's gonna be a 990 EZ, but you have these people that try to. It's like, hey, you ever thought about working as CTO? And I have, but at the same time, when you go to these companies and they try the first thing they do is like, who have you CTO for? And if you only been yourself, then they acting like that's not really valid.
But it's a catch-22. Like, how could you how could you get the experience if you're the experience I'm looking to get?
Exactly. And then
look, so one thing you just brought up a second ago, and we'll jump off of the AI topic. One thing that you just mentioned, you said how to I've never started a nonprofit. I've never done da da da. That's, I mean, not even just AI, but that's what Google, and that's all I said. A lot of people are afraid to research. I feel like, don't get me wrong, I'm not I read things, and I read things that, like, I mean, I just got one certification last week. I'm planning to get one this week.
Oh, you passed?
You said what?
You passed? You passed
that? Sir. Yes, sir. And it's just like, we're so afraid at times to, I don't know if it's afraid to learn, but there are tools out there that makes it easier. Like I said, these AI tools, like I said, even Google, to say, how do I start a nonprofit? How do I, like, what are the steps? And it's like, well, shoot, there's so many links on here. I don't even know which one to read. It's like, look through life is so, people, not to say that people are afraid, but the things that we're older. And I say we're older as in the younger ones have these tools, and we're like, why are they using this to do this? And it's like, well, we were in similar situations, like, something as simple as MP3s. My mom has never downloaded an MP3 ever in her life. She probably don't even know what an MP3 is. You know what I'm saying? But at least now, as being older, we are exposed to the technologies, and we should know how to use them, or we will get left behind. If you don't understand, like that person, like you, as an example, the resume thing that we had mentioned. You could be sitting up here trying to rewrite your resume all day, or you can put it in here and say, hey, structure this, make it look exactly to what the company is asking for, and then you review it. And that's one problem too. People just like just throwing stuff in these tools and not even looking at the outcome of it. But anyway, review it and making sure that it caters to exactly what you're looking for. And I don't understand. Like I said, it's not meant to. I just like sometimes I get to the point I just, not to say focus on myself, but when you try to teach these things to other people, and you're trying to teach them to the younger people, and they have a better understanding of it, but they're just not utilizing it. And you're older and quote unquote, not to say like you're the OG. So you're not to say that you're not supposed to be using them, but your generation is a generation that kind of pushes against using these different AI methods. And it's like, well, no, like